Hi and welcome to the third episode of Dave Johnson versus the Marvel Universe. Today I'm going to be looking at some Marvel comics that were due out on Wednesday the 6th of May 2015. Okay, so the first book I'm going to look at is Spider-Gwen number 4. I normally love alternate reality stories and timelines, but I haven't really been enjoying this book that much. However, this issue really changed the pace a little bit for me. It made me really appreciate it more than I had been. The start of the issue, we see some funny interactions between Spider-Gwen and some vandals. I thought that was amusing. It really gives off the feel that she's the female counterpart to Peter Parker. It's how she's been portrayed in the Amazing Spider-Man movies, and they really seem like the perfect couple. So it kind of makes this book and even the 616 Peter Parker, the story of the two, a little bit more tragic that they're not together in any universe. Enough of that sappy stuff though. Well, not really, because this issue tells a story of guilt. We see Gwen end up in the household of Peter's Uncle Ben and Aunt May, and it's a horrible situation for her because everywhere there's reminders that Peter's dead. Don't worry, it's not the 616 Peter Parker. He hasn't died, you haven't missed any news. It's obviously the Peter Parker of her universe. You can feel the anxiety once Gwen is forced to converse with Aunt May. And if you've ever been in a situation where your pulse is raised, you just feel a need to escape a situation. It really feels like this was written with that in mind, and to kind of get that feeling across. May being who she is changes the way Gwen thinks about things, and it's a really beautifully written scene. It's definitely changed how I feel about this title, and I probably will buy the trade now. This issue itself is low on action but really high on character. I would definitely recommend giving this a read this week. Okay, next up is Inhuman Annual number 1. This is the finale of the regular Inhuman title before Atalan Raza starts in Secret Wars. The last issue saw Queen Medusa betrayed by the character Lineage. Now, he was able to, basically when Inhumans die, he gains their information and knowledge. So this character's always been about building up his knowledge base. He devoured the soul of another person who he thought was the big bad of this story, and he disabled Gorgon, who's kind of the general to Queen Medusa. He got his hands on the Inhuman Codex, which basically fills everything he needs to know about the Inhumans' history, their genome, and also the genetics of people who are human too. So he's got ridiculous knowledge now. We see him making his play, and he psychically communicates with everyone who's an Inhuman on the planet. He basically says there's something terrible coming up, which I'm not sure whether that's foreshadowing Secret Wars or the things that happen in this book. But he says basically we all need to get together to either save the Earth or, as he would prefer, rule the Earth. Lineage is then able to cause humans to riot, and so we see the Inhumans stepping up from all over the world. We see obviously future Avenger Ms. Marvel jumping into action. She's straight there to save the day. We see Eldrach. He's a character I've grown quite fond of recently. Basically, he was a man, and when he went through the Teragenesis process, he became a living gate. And when you stepped through him, it sent you wherever you needed to be at that time. Now, Lineage has been manipulating him as well. He kind of gave him a body because Eldrach's just been a stationary gate for years. So it seems like he was doing something nice for him. But Eldrach has kind of saw through the manipulation, and he decides to help the good Inhumans save the day and be where they need to be. It really brings everything together nicely. The Inhumans are getting a much bigger presence in Marvel. Obviously it's down to the Fox rights thing to mutants, but they're doing a good job of really pushing it to us. The book's been good. They've got TV presence on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and obviously we've got movies due out down the line. It's no accident this book really feels like 90s X-Men, and I am looking forward to what they're going to do with Inhumans after Secret Wars, and even during Secret Wars. I think they will hold a much larger portion of the Marvel Universe following that event. The next title I'm going to look at is Amazing Spider-Man number 18. I didn't realise before reading, but this is the final issue of Amazing Spider-Man before Secret Wars starts. In the last issue we saw former Thunderbolt Ghost trying to take down Parker Industries. This was a job he was paid to do, but he's happy to do that job because it's his character to want to take down the man. He sabotages the building throughout the last issue, and he's really just trying to take down the company. Spider-Man's struggling to fight him. Ghost has got this tangibility power, intangibility even, so Spider-Man just can't hit him. But he's trying to save his business partner Sanjani, I think you pronounce her name, and of course using his wits he does manage to do that, but he's in trouble because he just can't beat Ghost while the building's coming down around him. I do like how his cast of supporting characters really come together to help Peter, or Spider-Man, they don't see any Peter in there, to really help him save the day. Strange how quickly the tale gets wrapped up though. It felt kind of anticlimactic, but we do see more of Black Cat in kind of a mini story at the very end, and now she's been building up in the background for quite a while now, and it seems that they're trying to make her a major supervillain in the Spider-Man universe. And this is all through what happened in Superior Spider-Man when she was trying to kiss him, but of course it was Doc Ock at the time. He just sees a criminal, punches her, and then since then she's held a grudge against Spider-Man. And it's really made her this kind of kingpin character. Very, very strange. Even that segment of the book ends very abruptly. Although it does appear that that story is going to continue in Secret Wars Spider-Verse. I was a little bit worried because the Spider-Man titles seem to be all alternate reality during Secret Wars, so I was worrying about what was going to happen with Peter Parker of the 616 universe in the Secret Wars title, but thankfully it does look like this story is going to continue in that title. I'm going to buy the trade, but this issue is a little bit lacking for me. It felt a bit rushed in ways. I am looking forward to see how everything's going to play out in Secret Wars, and I do have faith in Dan Slott as a writer, so hopefully we'll see some good stuff on the horizon for our Peter Parker. Finally, and the one I've mainly been looking forward to, it's Secret Wars number 1. As I predicted last week, the issue kind of picks straight up from New Avengers. We see flashes of Doctor Doom, and it was that last panel from New Avengers, and then it just flashes up with a big splash page. The multiverse is dying, only 2 universes remain, today Earths collide. I like the style of it. It's very, very Jonathan Hickman in the way he lays all his comic books out. The story picks up with the Ultimate Universe invading. They're trying to get one up on the 616 universe. We see them coming in. We see Reed loading up the multiversal raft, which they've created to survive the destruction of the whole multiverse and restart the human race in. The team of Avengers that have been tasked to pick out the people who are there to repopulate the human race. We see them, they're flying back, they've had to rip people from their families. It's been very hard, but it's a necessary evil at this horrible, horrible time. We see different groups of people and their reactions to what they've been told. Their governments, on the advice of Black Panther in the last issue of Avengers, have told the people that the world's ending. They're doing what they can to stop it, but the people know that the world's ending. So we see some interesting interactions and how people deal with that information. Things never go to plan and chaos ensues. Imagine the world is ending, the panic, the racing pulse. This issue embodies that perfectly. Reading it myself, I felt excited. I can't even explain how good it was. I had goosebumps reading the issue. There's a lot more in this, but I can't really say anything without spoiling. There's tragedy, there's excitement, there's reveals. There's some bits in it that are reminiscent of when the Annihilation Wave shown up in Infinity. That was exciting for me. And there's bits like that in this issue as well. I feel like I need issue 2 right now. And luckily we've only got 1 week to wait. I had goosebumps, as I say, I had goosebumps reading this book. I felt like I needed to take a sit down or take some deep breaths after reading it. It's just a really, really exciting issue, and it's got all those Hickman payoffs that we've been waiting for. He's been laying seeds for this for a long, long time, even since his days writing Fantastic Four. And this is the magnum opus of his Marvel work. He's leaving Marvel and taking a break from comics for a while after writing this because it's been so all-encompassing. I would definitely recommend picking this up. If you can, I'd recommend backtracking through all of his Avengers and New Avengers books, but definitely at least pick up Secret Wars so you can be there, you can see the end of the 616 and the Ultimate Universe, and obviously the start of the all-new Marvel Universe. Okay, so that's it for another episode of Dave Johnson versus the Marvel Universe. What did you think? Have you read the books that I read this week? Please let me know what you thought below. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like what you see. I'll see you next week.